Hey everybody, welcome back. This right here is some petty wedding drama because it's the best kind. Am I the a-hole for having a better wedding than my sister-in-law? You already sound really petty, babe. So passive aggressive. But I will reserve my judgment, and you should too. Court is in session. You may heat your tea, because this tea's piping hot, baby. I'm a casual Reddit browser, but I've never engaged the community before because I never thought something this wild would happen. But here we are. Here we are indeed. I'm a 29 female from a middle-class family and have an older brother, 35 male. Let's call him Adrian. He's a self-taught software engineer and makes pretty good money. A little over a year ago, he married his girlfriend, 28 female of 6 years. Let's call her Heather. I don't know why the names people choose, like the fake names, make so much sense to me. Like it's added weight. Like I know nothing about these people, but their fake names mean a lot, you know? She's not a bad person, but I think she's a little bit spoiled. She's the type that loves to brag about all the expensive stuff her husband bought her, and their wedding was pretty extravagant. She still loves to talk about how it was the most amazing wedding she's ever been to. My brother is kind of wrapped around her finger, but it never really mattered until now. Of course you're gonna be biased about your wedding, babe. Come on. It's all about you. We all love it when it's about us. Come on. Unless you're like, you have lots of social anxiety, in which case we really don't like when it's about us, do we? Any excuse to change the subject, am I right? I met my fiance, 36 male, about 4 years ago. It was a business event and he owns a decently sized and very successful company. So saying that, he's extremely wealthy. Since he grew up less than, he loves to spend his money on things him and his family could only dream about before. One of those things is, of course, our wedding. He wants to go all out and hired a somewhat well-known wedding planner to arrange everything. Honestly, I'm pretty excited. I've never dreamed of such a luxurious wedding, but now that it's happening, it feels like I'm living some kind of wild dream I never even dared to have. Like textbook fairy tale. I love that for you! I love it! Oh. Hello? Oh yeah, sorry, I'll keep it down. Sorry, I'm filming. Yeah. Okay, yeah, sorry. Recently, I was at a family gathering and was hanging out in the living room with my mom and Heather doing girl talk. My mom started asking me how the planning was going, and when I told her about everything we were doing, I could see Heather go pale and extremely red in the face. She was quiet for the rest of the night. Oy vey. Can't we be happy for other people? See, I thought that in order to be happy for other people, you also had to be happy, right? So I thought that she was so unbelievably happy with this amazing wedding that she had. The next day, Adrian called me and said that Heather was extremely upset and felt like I was trying to one-up her wedding. She said I was trying to upstage her because I never expressed a desire for a fancy wedding before.
You don't deserve it!
Just so you know, when you have a friend that has a really amazing wedding, your wedding has to be terrible. Once they have a great wedding, you are forever doomed to have a crappy one because you don't want to offend anyone, and you certainly don't want to have a great wedding yourself because that would mean that you're trying to upstage other people, and we need to be careful about that. He asked me if I could tone it down. Shut up. I love how we love to brag when it's about our own weddings, but we can't accept it when other people want to talk about how great their life is. Let's normalize, I'm gonna be really woke for a second. Let's normalize people talking about themselves in a happy way. Just because your life isn't terrible, that does not mean that you have to make your life sound like
car.
Make other people comfortable, okay? Let's normalize being happy for other people when they have good things going on in their lives.
Okay.
He asked me if we could tone it down so it doesn't exceed the budget they had for their own wedding. Buddy, absolutely not. I laughed, yeah, I laughed too. Because honestly, I couldn't believe what I was hearing, and then I naturally said no. He sounded upset and hung up. A few hours later, Heather calls and starts yelling at me, repeating mostly the same stuff, saying she knew I was always jealous of her. Oh, interesting choice of words. Interesting. I'm only with my fiance because he's rich and I want to rub it in her face. That made me snap, and I said, if you're that obsessed with money, maybe you should have married someone else instead of my brother. If anyone's jealous of someone, it's you.
Oh.
Period. She screamed at me and started crying before hanging up. Now Adrian is angry and calling me an a-hole for insinuating she shouldn't have married him. No, that's not what she's saying, babe. She's saying that if it was that important to her, then she should have married someone who could have afforded a nicer wedding. That's not, okay, wait. Okay, that is what she's saying. All right. And my parents think I was too harsh on her when I know she's always been material and are asking me to lower our wedding budget to appease her. I don't want to. Oh my God. My fiance definitely doesn't want to, but I don't know if that makes me an a-hole or not. It doesn't, babe. Here, uninvite her, and that way her wedding will still be the best wedding she's ever been to. Why do people have such a problem being happy for others? I understand that it's because we are not happy with ourselves and that makes it hard for us to be happy for other people. But don't make other people dull their shine so that it doesn't hurt your eyes. Learn to be happy for others. You're not the a-hole in my opinion, but let's see what everybody else had to say. Not the a-hole, and you should increase the budget for your wedding every time she complains about it. Oh. You should mention that you're giving away like designers or something like that. Oh, we're just giving away some Chanel earrings. Too bad you don't want to be there. Watch her switch up quick. You should also do it in like an amazing location, you know? Offer to pay for family. She'll switch up. By the way, I'm not insinuating that you should pay for her after how she's behaved. I'm insinuating that you should tell her that she shouldn't come if she's uncomfortable with it, and then you should treat everybody else. She should grow up, and OP's wedding is the best opportunity for a well-needed reality check. This person is actually acting like a spoiled little girl who's jealous of her sister and wants the same toy. It's not that she wants the same toy, it's that she wants to make sure she has the better toy.
Me when I'm being Delulu.
Except I would never be this Delulu. I'm Delulu, but like not this Delulu, you know? Right? She's always been the whiny baby, so let's continue appeasing her so that behavior is guaranteed to continue. Yeah, I don't understand your parents' logic, honestly. Like, oh, you know that she's material and whiny and jealous, blah, 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 but like, why are you egging her on? Because people like that need a reality check, babe. Come on. You'll be asked to take the backseat for everything if you keep giving in to her tantrums. What's next? Oh, I'm sorry, you can't get pregnant until I get pregnant. I want to have my baby first. Like, it never ends. She's like the kid in the grocery store screaming for candy. If you give in, the tantrums will never end. You're not the a-hole, my dear. And have the biggest, most lavish wedding of your life. Hopefully only one. Go big or go home. Ruining a wedding reception for fun and profit. When I was 13, so 8 years ago, my dad remarried after divorcing my mom 4 years before. Before the divorce, his fiance had been his mistress. My mom is completely better off without him, and ignoring the fact that I wouldn't exist, I don't think she should have married him in the first place. Even if I think that my parents weren't a good match, that's no excuse to cheat on your wife. This woman was vile in all sorts of ways. She constantly belittled me, made fun of the fact that I needed to take pills for my mental illness despite being a frickin' pharmacist. I don't get it either. Whoa, buddy. And was generally awful to me and my siblings. But she was a decade younger than my dad and reasonably hot, so he didn't give a how she treated us. Wow, really? Dang, that's all it takes, eh? Just be young and hot and you can be an absolutely
vile human being.
The rest of us have to try a little harder, you know? The one time he actually listened to us about her is when they were thinking of having a baby. And my brother said he'd ask our mom to sue for full custody of us if they did. Okay, well, that's some drama. That's some drama. Oh, dang, we get the lawyers involved, I see. So anyway, they got married. I was a bridesmaid because that B word had no real friends. Oh. My brother was the best man because she didn't like my dad's best friend. Whoa! He and my dad still don't talk to this day, even though the guy was like an uncle to me as a little kid. It was a wedding. Everything went normally. But at the beginning of the reception, before the first dance, we were taking pictures in front of a chocolate fountain, looking like the happy family we never were and never would be. I am on the autism spectrum and have a problem maintaining eye contact. This extends to looking at a camera. So when we had to retake a photo because I wasn't looking, she leans down and whispers something in my ear. I'm not going to repeat it, but it involved the R word. I don't like saying it. Hell no, she said that. Absolutely not. Anyway, I kind of snapped and decided that she was going to pay for this. Tell me you pushed her in the chocolate fountain. Tell me, please tell me. Did you? No one noticed, or at least no one called me out, when I started slowly moving the chocolate fountain toward the edge of the table. When it got to the edge, it makes contact with the back of that pure white wedding dress and slowly drips down. By the time she notices, it looks like she herself! Hi, yeah, sorry. I'm doing a petty revenge video. But there's a chocolate fountain. Okay, fine. For all anyone else knows, this was an accident. She has no spare dress. The stain is not coming out. So first dance, cutting the cake, speeches, everything. This woman has what looks like a stain on the back of her dress. It was a small revenge, but it was so worth it. What's supposed to be the happiest day of this stupid woman's life, and she's gonna remember that stain every time she thinks about it. They never did get the stain out, and nobody knew it was me. Until now, I guess. Hi, family, if you're reading this. Susie, you're a and you deserve that chocolate stain. Oh! What a great story. Oh, wow. Thank you so much for sharing. Top comment is glorious. Glorious. Okay, do we have time for one more? What if it's a good one? What if it's a doozy? My neighbor has responded to the loud noises by drilling. So petty! Am I the a-hole for not removing the Disney items from my house? My husband and I are what you would call Disney adults. We used to work for the parks in college and met there. For us, it has sentimental value as well as being something we both loved from our childhood. Now, we are conscious to not be those Disney adults. You know those ones? Yeah, those ones. We don't do that. We can hold conversations outside the movies and parks. Good for you, babe. We both work well-paying jobs unrelated to the company. We have other hobbies and interests. Our son isn't big on Disney, and we're cool with that. It is just something that we enjoy as well as our daughters. We nurture all of our children's hobbies and interests. We also don't blow all our money on this stuff. I know I may sound overly defensive, but we get a lot of comments from people who don't know us well. Anyways, we live in a renovated farmhouse on a bit of land that includes a barn that we finished off, with hopes to make it a guest house one day. In the meantime, we've had a relative get married here, and it was gorgeous. Now, my sister wants to get married on our property, and we're all for it. Everything's been planned for months, and the wedding is in June. It's set to be outside completely, but if it rains, we can move the party into the barn. The only reason a guest would have to go in our house is to use the bathroom. We have 2 on the first floor. The only Disney items are Winnie the Pooh hand towels. I told my sister I'd replace them with regular ones. Wedding space has no Disney items. So what's the problem? However, she wants me to take down everything Disney on the first floor of my home, as guests will see. We have a lot of Disney items, pictures, paintings, blankets, Funko Pops, decorations, figurines, dishware, etc., all made for adults, and a lot of it's subtle or vintage, but yet you can still tell it's Disney. Thought Disney was supposed to be the happiest place on earth. 1, this would be a massive undertaking. It's not as simple as shoving stuff into a closet. We'd have to pack it up and find a place to store it. The sheer amount would require at least 2 hours of packing, not to mention storage and unpacking after. 2, it's ridiculous to me. Who cares if people see? She says it looks tacky. Oh, that's how you feel. Got it. And she doesn't want people remembering her wedding for that. Okay, well then she can have her wedding somewhere else. Oh, you have to pay for it? Yeah, I thought so. I told her no. We're decorating the outside and barn as she wants. We're letting her use our property for free, which she keeps bragging about to friends as it's saving them a ton. When my husband and I stood firm, she whined to our parents who told us to grow up and take it down. That is a petty hill that you need to die on. I mean, listen, I also think this is about you feeling like your sister thinks that you're like embarrassing. You're passionate about something. I get it. You like it. You like Disney. It's sentimental for you, okay? There's plenty of people who would love to have a Disney wedding, all right? My thing is like, if she's getting the property for free, you're doing all this decorating for her for free, and she still has a problem with your stuff, like get her an outhouse. Get her an outhouse, okay? She doesn't want her guests to go inside. Get her an outhouse. Another solution, if she's really, I don't know, like maybe she could be the one that pays for things to get packed and put away, and then she comes and unpacks everything so that you don't have to do everything. You know what I mean? She also didn't have to say that it's like childish and embarrassing and tacky. Like there's no need for that. You could just say something like, it doesn't really go with the wedding theme or something like that. Like I kind of wanted it to be like this, etc., etc. Like you don't have to insult the person that's doing something nice for you, because like, why would they do something nice for you after that? Not the a-hole. Your sister doesn't want her wedding to be associated with Disney. Your sister wants full control of the space and decoration. I have an idea. She should rent her own venue. Seriously, enforce your boundary and say that that's as far as you're willing to go. If she wants to change everything, she needs to rent a different venue. You get what you pay for. She didn't pay for it, so she's not getting anything. Her sister needs to let it go. Let it go. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. You know, I used to actually, like when I was really like a struggling actor, I used to dress up like Elsa and go sing at kids' birthday parties. I know. People paid for that, like whatever you just heard. They literally paid me to do that. She wants OP to strip her house down to the bare necessities, just to be prepared for her wedding. She needs to chill out and learn to take things with a spoonful of sugar. I get the point. You're not the a-hole, my dear. Sister can bibbity bobbity the f up.